This is the rules engine within Edgefinity. As you can see, we have multiple rules created within the system, and today we're going to add a new rule. That's simply by clicking Add New. Up top, it gives you a place to add in a name for your rule. We'll do Asset Exited Location. You can also assign your rule to a group, and you can type in your group name here if you'd like to. Over on this section is where you start building your rule. These are the popular triggers for the rule. A trigger is what causes the rule to go off. As you can see, there are many different options you can select. For example, we can have tags entering or exiting a location or a zone. You can also do it by dialog response, which you'll see later in this rule. There are dialog timeouts, and you can also base it on assets entering or exiting zones or locations, or users entering or exiting locations. You can set up schedules, timers, or designate specific people. You can set perimeters on assets or people, and have the rule trigger when those perimeters are violated. It's also set up for panic buttons, system disconnects, such as if a wire was cut or something happened, battery levels, motion alerts, and also for readers if one happens to go offline. So today, as I mentioned, we're going to be doing an asset rule. We'll use Asset Exited Location as the trigger. Now let's go down into parameters for the rule. We can actually select the specific asset, select the new location that it's going to, or set up deactivation or activation delays on the rule. In this example, we're focusing on filters. So we'll add in a filter and select our locations, Cyberwest and Yonkers. You can select multiple locations within this setup. This rule will now trigger when an asset leaves either the Cyberwest or Yonkers office. Additionally, you can add filters for tag, specific user, object, or date and time. In this case, we'll set it up as a night rule, running from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. This means that if any assets are leaving the location from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m., when no one should be in the office, the rule will trigger. Once the triggers and filters are set, the next step is to configure reactions. We can have the system send a text message, and this message can be customized with keywords from the rule. For instance, it might say, asset, and then insert the asset's name, followed by of type, and then the asset type, followed by left location. From here, you can specify users or groups to receive the text, or simply enter a phone number. You can also set up a dialog which will appear as a pop-up on the screen when the rule is violated. As demonstrated in the previous portion of this demo, the dialog interface is clean and customizable. You can give the dialog a name, and the type will appear at the top of the dialog window. I'm actually going to call it the same thing. Next, we'll choose the recipients. We're going to select a group, so let's go to all of the admins. We can add a message field on top, and again, use keywords from the alert, such as has left. You can also build in a checklist. As you can see, you can title it anything you want. I like to call mine checklist. We can add as many items as we want. You can also choose to display a map on the dialog when it pops up and customize your map options. For example, do you want to display assets, people, or perimeters? You can add breadcrumbs and show the zone and zone names. Additionally, you can include a comments box. Once the screen pops up, the user can enter comments about the alert or the situation. You can also add custom buttons and define what each button does. There are 4 choices: normal, make owner, close, and decline. The normal button can be set to trigger another rule. As you might recall, one of the trigger options was dialog response, meaning the response is based on buttons clicked or checklist items checked off. Choosing Make Owner would assign the rule to a user, while Close can simply close the dialog. If you don't like the order of your buttons, you can rearrange them here, or if an extra button was added by mistake, click the X to remove it. Finally, there's the response time setting. If no one responds to this alert within 60 seconds, the system can generate and trigger another rule. But this can be edited. Any number can be entered here, adjusting it to seconds, minutes, hours, or days. That wraps up the basics of creating the dialog. The other type of reaction you can set up is a simple function. A simple function connects to any IP addressable device, so the rule can be configured to trigger actions like setting off sirens, activating strobe lights, locking doors, or controlling any IP addressable device within Edgefinity. Once the rule is created, we'll head up to the final step, review and finish. Here you can validate the rule to ensure everything was set up correctly. When you click Validate, a success message confirms it's ready to go. This step checks to ensure there are no mistakes or rules that wouldn't be triggered correctly. Once validated, you'll have the option to activate or deactivate the rule. For example, if you create the rule during the day but plan to test it after hours, you could deactivate it initially, then turn it on later for testing. For this rule, we'll leave it active. Once I hit Finish, the rule is complete. Thanks for watching.